Glossier. Glossier. I have a lot of history with Glossier that cannot be summed up in one video, but suffice to say, I have a general understanding of everything that they have, and for that reason, a couple of people have asked me to do a revisiting Glossier video, what's worth it and what's not, now that they're in Sephora. Good for them. I just know that there are products in their line that I love and ones that I would suggest passing on. So that's really the information that I want to share today. If y'all have, you know, opinions on Glossier as a brand, let me just say you're probably right. If you are unfamiliar with their saga in 2020, they got some really bad press because of Out of the Gloss, which was an Instagram by some anonymous who I believe that they, you know, Glossier knows who they are at this point, but anonymous to the public, previous Glossier employees. They exposed a lot of very unsavory practices that were happening and experiences that they had had in their retail stores and things like that. And all that really did, in my eyes, was expose Glossier as just like everybody else. I mean, not to like excuse them really, but I think that there was kind of an air of perfection and this idea that Glossier was trying to do better, be better, you know, set an example. And what we really found out was that, you know, when a company reaches a certain size, the accountability is just not there. So there you go. But either way, you know, if you are interested in finding out like where I have arrived on the products from Glossier since becoming a Glossier rep the first time in 2017, and it is now 2023, then this is the video for you. Let's do it. Yeah, I kind of like have trouble hiding my cynicism about Glossier because I used to feel very special in their eyes, and as an Aries, I love being special. It's like my favorite way to feel. And then over the years, they, you know, things turned over at the company and everything, and now they're very like, we don't know who you are, you know, why do you want PR? Like, you know what I mean? They're just they treat me like I'm brand new, even though I literally have been with the company as, you know, a partner, affiliate, whatever, you know, for years and years and years. And so, yeah, it just kind of feels not really like a familiar experience anymore. Whereas there are brands that I've been with for a long time that, you know, I have kind of like grown in the like family feeling of knowing them. Glossier just happens to not be one of them. So I will be able to give you a pretty unbiased review of everything. And I pulled up the Sephora app on my iPad. They don't have an iPad app, so it's just a blown up version of the iPhone app, which shouldn't feel silly, but it does. It feels really silly. I mean, you can even shrink it down and then it's the actual size of an iPhone screen. Come on, Sephora. Make an iPad app. Now, I did film myself putting this makeup look on today, and I only have a handful of Glossier still left in my collection, so I used what I have so that I could show y'all demos. But in other cases, I actually applied what I think are good alternatives to some of the products from Glossier that seemed revolutionary at the time, because Glossier has always put out things in these very like hero product kind of ways where like, we've solved X, we've solved foundation, we've solved concealer, we've solved eyeshadow. And as soon as they tried to solve eyeshadow, that was where I feel like we crossed this threshold with a lot of customers where they were like, no, that's just eyeshadow. Like, that's everybody else's eyeshadow kind of thing. And so they did. They put themselves in a much larger pool for comparison in that case. So that's more context. I don't know. I feel like I just need to have something that just says hashtag context. I'm just providing context. Willy frickin' nilly. All right, the first thing up here is the Glossier Balm.com, okay, which is one of my favorite products ever. When I did a countdown on my channel of the actual effective lip balms in my collection, it was at the top because it had, operative word being had, past tense, lanolin and beeswax in it. And lanolin and beeswax means staying power and actual like tenacious hydration. So this is like the first, this isn't the first tube I've ever had, but this was the first flavor that they ever sent me. And this is the coconutbalm.com, and it's still, it smells like nostalgia for me. I just really love it. But they reformulated it like idiots, okay? I'm not even going to censor myself. That was a dumb choice. They made it vegan, which was what? The kiss of death, so to speak, pun intended, all shade, that killed Bite Beauty, was taking the lanolin and the beeswax out of everything. Because yes, being a vegan is a noble pursuit. This was just a product that built its entire foundation on efficacy and was notorious and had built a client base on efficacy, and that efficacy in my mind really does hinge on those two ingredients, because I have tried so many other things and now they've taken it out. I was in Sephora last weekend in the city and I didn't put it on my mouth, but like I swatched it on the back of my hand to see if it still felt the same. It does still feel the same, and they have a lip balm applicator now instead of just the regular tube. Fine. I have no feelings about that. I kind of just like the nostalgia of the old tube just because that's what I remember. I have really no objection to it. The formula feels the same, like I said, but I didn't put it on my mouth and I don't have one of the new ones. I will just say that now that it is vegan, I would be very interested to know whether it actually works as well. I would really guess that it doesn't. So from the standpoint of an alternative, what would I recommend? The Kosas. The Kosas, or I've never tried Lano lips. I don't know. I don't hear like a ton about them, so I wonder if they are like, you know, as be all end all amazing as like the Glossier is. But the Kosas Clear Kosas Sport lip balm that's in a tube. No, not a tube. Yeah, well, it's not a wand. It's not like a lip gloss. It's like in a chapstick kind of thing, but it's flat. That's the one. That's the one. It's so good, but you'll burn through it way faster than Balm.com. I guess all I'm saying is if you have old Balm.coms, guard them with your life the same way that people probably still do with their old Bite Beauty Agave lip balms. I'm afraid in the minority because they are selling the Glossier You perfume. You is the name of it. And I will say, I don't like You. Like You, but I don't like Glossier You. It's got pink peppercorn as one of the big notes in it, and to me it smells like cigarettes. So a lot of people love it and it works with their skin. On me, it smells like I was smoking cigarettes. Yeah, and then came back inside to, you know, report back to work or whatever, and had to like spray myself with a little bit of perfume to try and like cover up the cigarette smell. That's what it smells like to me. Glossier Solar Paint Luminous Gel Cream Bronzer. I should mention the prices here. So $14 for a Balm.com, $64 for Glossier You, and $20 for the Solar Paint Luminous Gel Cream Bronzer. When this came out, I bought all of them. It was one of the first ones that I wasn't on their like PR mailing list for. And like, I think now you have to opt in, and my inbox is a dumpster fire. So I don't even know if I see their emails anymore or if they even email me anymore. I have no idea. I liked them and then I decluttered them because I never used them. And I think it's because they're glittery and they just don't really do a better job than most of the things in my collection. And I think that it was like the liquid delivery system that didn't really do it for me. Again, I didn't mind them. The colors were good. You know, I think they did an okay job on the colors, but I'm just more of like a cream bronzer person than I am a liquid bronzer person. I think that they could have done a cloud paint version of their bronzer and that would have been amazing. Like, it's called the Solar Paint. You would think that it'd be in kind of a cloud paint delivery system, but it isn't. It's in a wand. It's just not the most elegant formula in the world. Now, Glossier Cloud Paint Gel Cream Blush. Another one is $20. I think they used to be $18. The Cloud Paint is one of the most classic and oft duped or attempted to be duped formulas in Glossier's entire line. This is the shade Eve, and for good reason, because it's just this beautifully satin finish, opaque kind of blush product that I can never get little enough of on my skin. That's why I don't use it, is because it runs away from me so fast. But like, I used to use the crap out of it back in the day. But that was also when I was using like the Glossier skin tint, so it was like something for it to slip on. It's just not the most intuitive thing in the world anymore. And one of the things that unfortunately I feel like Glossier has suffered from is, because they don't really innovate, like they do kind of like have their hero product and then that's their hero product, like that's their blush now. That means that brands have had plenty of time to dupe them. And like, some of them have done a great job and some of them haven't, but like they've been getting better and better, okay? And I would say that like, while maybe like the Rare Beauty is a lot more pigmented, it's not my absolute favorite thing in the world. It's very, very similar to Cloud Paint, very, very similar. Does something extraordinarily similar on the skin. Okay, Natasha Denona Puff Paint. Even the name is similar. This is what I'm wearing today. I like it because it's more sheer and it's a little bit more, it is called like a gel blush, and it's just a little bit more gel-like. I have all 3 shades in this that I bought myself, and it's $22. And I think that that's like a good price, especially for Natasha Denona. It has a deceptively large amount of product in there, but wow, I didn't notice how similar those 2 shades were. That was Hope from Rare Beauty, and this is Daria from Natasha Denona. And I really, really dig the Natasha Denona one. Like I said, you know, I like things to be sheer so that they go on more evenly and I can build them if I want to, kind of thing. But everybody does love the Rare Beauty ones, and boy, do you get your money's worth. Then the one thing that I really love from Say Beauty is their Dew Blush. So this is the shade Dreamy. This is just the first one that I found when I was kind of going through. And it is also a lot less pigmented and has that nice like gel weight texture to it and some really pretty colors. So yeah, this is Dreamy, and you can see it's even sheerer and thinner. It's less viscous, but still has like the, you know, the gel translucency to it. So yeah, I would recommend any of these based on, you know, what I just outlined over the Cloud Paint, mainly because they're all really similarly priced. You know, that's what they were going for, was the success of Cloud Paint. And I think that if you're going for something super, super similar to Cloud Paint, you know, go for the Rare Beauty. But I find that these perform better, and I find that although there are only 3 shades, they're weird and I like it, the Natasha Denona Puff Paint would be my choice. That Dew Blush stains. Okay, then we have the Ultralip. I didn't pull that, hang on. All right, Ultralip. So I have 3 of these. I have Ember, Lucite, and Villa. I think these are just lovely, and I think that they're really unique in their own right. So this is what they look like. I think they're cute. Millennial Pink. Here we have Villa. Ember, gorgeous, and Lucite. Now, I personally have always had a little bit of an axe to grind with their lip products because I feel like the colors all are very pretty when you look at them, but they are not necessarily the most like nuanced wearable things in the world, to the point that they don't really stick in my memory. Like, I wish that Lucite was not quite so stinking like ballerina pink, you know, like that's just not a color I want to wear. And I have heard the opposite from plenty of people where they're like, all the shades work for me. So they're clearly for someone, they're just not for me necessarily. Like even Ember, as much as I like it, it just is like a little bit too red. Like it's just got a little too much red to it. I wish it was like a little bit, just a little bit grungier, like more brown, you know? And so I don't reach for them because I don't think about them, because every time I put one on, I'm like, it's too pink. It's just too pink. And it just, everything turns pink on me anyway. And so they tend to try and kind of steal the show. So I love the formula. I hope that they iterate with some more nuanced colors, especially because like Ember reminds me of Leo in their Generation G, and Leo is unbelievable. It's like very brown. So I just kind of wish that they were the same. But they are less, I would say less pigmented than the M Cosmetics lip clouds, or especially the Cherry Pick lip butters from About Face. There's just a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, they're basically like a lightly tinted lip glossy balm kind of thing. Okay, the Glossier Glassy High Shine Lip Gloss is $15. I love this stuff. It's like ultimate 90s vibes, or 2000s vibes, sorry. Just that glassy, gorgeous, syrupy, clear lip gloss. But it will, if you're like sitting there talking to somebody for an hour or whatever, it's gonna get the white ring. You know, as these things go, it's very sticky. It's not like a liquid lip balm or anything. It's not, again, like the most sophisticated or like cosmetically innovative product, but I love it. It's not like, again, the most remarkable thing in the world, but it is a lot of fun and I love the way that it looks. Okay, boy brow. So I have gone through so many tubes of Boy Brow. My mother is hooked on Boy Brow. I don't have Boy Brow anymore, but that's because I use this now for the most part. So this is the Authored Brow Gel. They don't have anywhere near as many shades as Glossier does. I ordered this not because I needed a brow gel, but because I wanted to try the brand Authored because it is Tanya Burr's kind of newer cosmetic company. She used to have Tanya Burr Cosmetics back in the day, and now she's just, you know, reemerged and everything, and she's got like a handful of these kind of clean beauty sort of products. And yeah, it's basically Boy Brow, but it's in a much larger tube. If you're in the UK, this is gonna be a lot easier for you to get. You won't have to pay all the duties and everything. I don't know how much I ended up paying for this. I have it in mid brown, and it really is the same. Like, I like it better, but it's basically the same. It's a little tiny bit more pigment, but it has the fibers, it has the hold, and it's vegan. And I think that that was one of the things that Glossier did initially with Boy Brow, was take the beeswax out of it. I wonder if they've like reformulated that quietly. No, it still has beeswax in it. Yep, okay, so it's still, this is actually vegan and theirs isn't. That's interesting. Authored is vegan, and it's a vegan version of Boy Brow that is more in the tube, but obviously it's like not easy for everyone to get, but I do really like Boy Brow. I like it a lot. Okay, Generation G is one of the first formulas that I tried from them, and then they reformulated it and made it better. So it used to come in this little tiny tube, and they would break off all the time, and they were dry, but everybody still really liked them. I didn't, but everybody, you know, it had a lot of fans, and it was just this very, honestly, like the Indie Slays lip, right? It was that like a lipstick that when you put it on, it looked like you've been wearing it all day. Now it looks like the newer Generation G formula looks like a lipstick and then you blotted it perfectly, and it still has like staying power and hydration, but it doesn't like totally cave into all the crevices of your lips and everything, but the old one did. And the old one really looked like you like found your grandma's lipstick, put it on and wore it all day, like to a show or something, and like it was like the remnants of it, but that's how it looked, you know, whenever you put it on. So either way, I think that the new Generation G is a revelation. I think it's beautiful. And let's see. Ooh, they've come out with more colors. We have Malt and Punch already was there. Jam, Crush, Zip. Okay, I guess Malt is the new one. Malt and Fuzz are new ones to me, but it's a beautiful formula if you're like a blotted lip kind of person, but you still, I don't know, you like the matte lip, but you want still the color of your lip to show through a little bit. It's an easy way for someone who doesn't love like a really opaque or high contrast lip to wear a statement lip. The Perfecting Skin Tint for Dewy Sheer Coverage. It's what I'm wearing today, and dewy looking, yes. Dewy feeling like slippy? Not really. It's actually got quite a bit of silicone in it, I think, and so it does have its own self-setting property to it. It's a pretty sophisticated formula, and I do like it. And you know, when I wear it, I'm happy that I did, but this is one of the main things that comes to mind when I talk about Glossier suffering from having been on the market as long as they have. Brands have duped them, and they've done it. You know, there are a lot of products like this now. It was really courageous and innovative to put out a total face complexion product like this at the time that was so low coverage, because it was basically saying like makeup doesn't have to be what you think of it as right now kind of thing, because we were in like the Jaclyn Hill era. And now it exists a lot of places, and honestly I'm not sure that they even cost that much less. They just might be more readily available, but like L'Oreal True Match Nude, the Neutrogena Sensitive Skin Serum Foundation, like the Healthy Skin, like these are remarkably similar. Like on my arbitrary scale of coverage, I would give them all about a 0.5. They're just a really pretty texture on your skin that has like a slight blurring, perfecting quality to it. Very, very pretty, very easy to wear, hydrating, but also good for like combo skin. And something that I do want to mention about a lot of their products, but mainly their complexion products, is just how lovely they are for mature skin, because they've got the silicone that does have its own, like I said, self-setting property, but they maintain some hydration. They're not glittery or shimmery or anything. They don't have anything that's going to accentuate texture, and they're also not really mattifying. So it's not going to cover you up a lot, like your skin shows through and looks healthier. And that can be something that you want to wear without anything else. Like it's that light coverage. So I think that this is really lovely. Again, honestly, the drugstore prices have gone up so much that for, let's see, this is 1 fluid ounce, 1 fluid ounce. Oh my gosh. It's $26. Was it always $26? I feel like it was $18 when I got it. Okay, so these, while the drugstore does keep getting more expensive, these are going to be more affordable, you know? So, and I honestly like, you know, I talk about how I like the luxury of a package, interacting with it, etc. I don't think that this is any more luxurious for the money than either of these. And if you are in the market for something that, you know, works like this and has a touch more coverage, MAC Studio Radiance Face and Body, outrageously similar. So gorgeous. I love this stuff so much, and like, they're the same bottle. Okay, Glossier Haloscope, skip it. Oh, I know. There's a bunch of people in my comments being like, I love Haloscope. Girl, it is a glitter lip balm, okay? Like, I get it. It can be pretty. I just find that it's not slippy enough to do what I need it to do on multiple phases of makeup. And I don't notice it enough that it's worth the risk of disturbing all of my makeup. Plus, it's like a shimmer part and then a balm part. And it seems kind of gimmicky. It seems almost like they're kind of like selling you short on the amount of product that you're actually using because part of it's just clear. Like, why not just mix it all together? Either way, what I used today was this. This is the Milk Makeup Highlighter in Lit. Now, I had Lit as a powder highlighter when they were doing the Flex highlighters, and I loved it so much. I still have it. They don't do that anymore, but they do have several shades in this really honestly beautiful and really easy to use little stick. I think this is better. I just think it's better. It's really pretty. Like, I was very pleased with the results. It does come 1 shade lighter than this, and yeah, 1 more shade deeper and then 1 shade lighter than this. For it being $22, I think that's like, this is like $22 or $24, something like that. Comes in 3 colors as well. And you get 0.19 ounces or 5.5 grams, and this is 0.24 ounces and 6.7 grams. Go for the Milk Makeup. The Lash Slick Lift and Lengthening Mascara. Y'all, I've had at least 2 bottles of Lash Slick, and I just can't get into it. It is definitely like that extraordinarily lightweight tubing mascara. It is a lash wrapping kind of formula, but it never builds enough actual bulk on the lashes to tube properly. And so it kind of washes off in solidified flakes, you know, but not tubes. And I'm passionate about tubing mascaras functioning as tubing mascaras, and it's just not my vibe. For all the reasons that it is not my vibe, very likely it could be a lot of other people's vibe. You know, there are plenty of people who think that, like, you know, something like my Thrive mascara, and you're right in a lot of cases, even 1 coat looks like makeup, you know what I mean? Like, you just end up with these wapow lashes, and that's not always what we're going for. So, you know, I love the Typology one. It does about the same thing. The M Cosmetics one does about the same thing. And so I think that if I tried the brown one, I would probably find a use case for it and like not be disappointed by it. It was more just that it was like a black that was not giving me impact. You know what I mean? I was like, if I'm reaching for a black mascara, I want impact, and it just wasn't doing it. And so I never ended up reaching for it, but it is really pretty. It's just, it's like, I can never get it to like really build. It is a very low-key mascara, and that's $18. Okay, Glossier Lidstar Long Wearing Shimmer Cream Eyeshadow. They're not kidding. It is so long wearing. However, who cares if you can't see it? I could never like see Lidstar. And if, again, that's your vibe, it's the Glossier vibe. But like, you see me right now, you can see that glitter from the check cashing place around the corner, and that's just not Lidstar. And I'm not even like the glammest person in the world, but it's like they're glitter eyeshadows. And when I want a glitter eyeshadow, I want a glimmer eyeshadow, okay? A glitter eyeshadow. A shimmer, glitter, glimmer. They have, you know, pretty good colors now. I feel like they came out with some better ones, but the initial release was so weird. They were just not flattering. They all had like a blue shift on them or something. It was very difficult to find something that just looked like a normal eyeshadow. I know normal is like a loaded word, but I just wanted something that I could like safely pick. You know, I was like, okay, it's brown, or oh, it's pink. And like even the pink was like a little bit too icy and like the brown was a little bit too blue. It's just, they were weird. They've improved, but they're nothing to write home about. The Glossier #1 Pencil Creamy Long Wearing Eyeliner. I want to say I had this, but I have no memory of it. So I invite people in the comments to let me know if it's good, because I don't know. And I apologize, but it does come in 10 colors. I want to say that this is something that crossed over from Glossier Play, because Glossier Play got sunsetted pretty quickly, and it was like their attempt to do kind of more party makeup, and it was a little too late because we were no longer in the indie sleaze era. But I think that was one of the formulas that everybody really liked. I think they improved it because that one did dry out pretty quickly, but they, you know, translated it over. Okay, Glossier Monochrome's Essential Eyeshadow Trio Palette. It's 3 eyeshadows in a pan that would easily fit 4 eyeshadows, and they are monochrome. So you are talking about 3 textures of the same color. When this came out, I think I bought 3 of them, maybe even 4 of them, and they are eyeshadows. They're eyeshadows. I mean, there's just not really much else to say about them, because did I like not blend this well enough? I feel like my contour is looking wild on this side. Don't do that, don't do that. And then of course my skin just turns red. Anyway, they're nice, especially if you're someone who doesn't want to overthink their eyeshadow. But if you look at that and you find it, you know, somewhat appealing, and you're like, I wonder if I would get use out of that, just stretch your imagination a tiny bit further and consider Kaja. Yes, these are $4 more per. I'm not sure how the actual product amount shakes out, but when I'm thinking about eyeshadow, when I'm thinking about my eyeshadow look, and granted, I have more to accomplish than some people, you know, some people are just like, boop, boop, done. I have big, gorgeous eyes, whatever. Me, I'm trying to accomplish the interior illusions lounge on my eyeballs, you know? So like, I need the shade and the light and the cool and the warm and the contour and the glitter, you know, I want it all. And so when I want to simplify that down as small as I can make it, talking about something like these makes a lot more sense. So I'm wearing Madeline, Peach Madeline and Velvet Dream, and whatever your preference is on how much excitement and how much fantasy you want to go for on your eyeballs, there is a Kaja trio for you, because Velvet Dream and a few other, Chocolate Dahlia, no, I can't remember all the names of them, but this one's all matte. This one has a matte, a shimmer, and a topper in it, and you know, they are encapsulations of color stories that work really beautifully together without being the same dadgum color the whole time, you know? So this is my preference. I just didn't find the monochromes. I found them to be like too on the nose. Okay, Glossier Stretch Concealer. I am wearing this today, and it is just a great formula. It has a lot of slip to it, works on the fingers, works on a brush, and it is the ultimate camouflage cream because it actually stretches. But the way that it goes on the skin, it really just looks good at any coverage level. It's gonna build up and get too balmy if you try and do full coverage, but if you're like me during the winter and you have dry under eyes, fantastic, phenomenal. So yeah, you can powder it. It doesn't love it, but you can. And especially for me, like today, I remember using this, what would that be, you know, 6 or 7 years ago. My skin wasn't the same as it is now, and it did appear more dewy on me and more slippy. Now my skin is drier naturally and it soaks it up. And I feel like it almost is longer wearing now as an older person, you know? So there's definitely something to be said for that. Like I said, their complexion products are very underappreciated as mature skin friendly, which they very much are. They very much are. So I love this stuff. And honestly, I can't compare it to anything. There have been plenty of things that have tried, and nothing is quite Glossier Stretch Concealer. Brow Flick. I never found much of a use for Brow Flick, but I mean, there are plenty of brands that have things like this. Obviously, people find uses in them, and it is just a really lightly pigmented pen for drawing on your eyebrows. A person like me who already has as much brows as I have, it's going to make your brows look like the only thing on your face. It's gonna give you marker brows. But for people who are trying to draw brows on, it's good. I would recommend doing one of the ones with like the 3 prongs on it. more. It's just, I mean, you're doing a third of the work at the end of the day, and I feel like it draws finer hairs. This I would actually use because it did have some pretty good staying power. I would use it as an eyeliner sometimes. A really, really, really low-key eyeliner, liquid eyeliner. Skywash. Skywash worked okay for me, but was extremely patchy on some other people. I just think that like it is done much more elegantly by plenty of other brands at this point. Like Skywash is just such like a remedial formula when it comes to everything that it can be compared to in the current makeup environment. It's a liquid eyeshadow that's these very opaque pigments, right? And it's supposed to be fun and euphoria and whatever. Like About Face, look no further. These are just the best, okay? They're just the best as far as like true matte eye paints, which is what they're called, that wear for a very, very long time. You can do whatever you freaking want with them. You can blend them with a brush. You can use like a pen brush and, you know, get something really, really precise. And they're just absolutely gorgeous, cosmetically elegant and affordable. So, you know, I just think that like it's already been done better. And then, you know, if you want something super sophisticated as a version of it, then you've got your Hindash color fluids, which are meant to, you know, mix with anything. I don't know. I just, you know, for $25, those are, the Skywash is $18. There's not a lot of product in there, I don't think. It is 3.5 milliliters or 0.11 ounces. This is 5 milliliters for $25. So, you know, probably shakes out. And this is only, I think, like $16, and you get 4.5 milliliters for these. These are just, I mean, yeah, off the charts good. And I should have mentioned that both About Face, Hindash, and then also like Lisa Eldridge are out here making much better versions of like Lidstar. And that's what I would recommend. Like I actually use those by preference, whereas with like the Skywash, it was something that I had to like work to get it to work and work to try and find how it fit into my routine. Now it's like, okay, you know, these are intuitive enough liquid eyeshadows that I use them over powder eyeshadows by preference. The pro tip long wearing liquid eyeliner pen is good. It's fine. I will never be the person to give you a very reliable review of a liquid eyeliner because I am really bad at liquid eyeliner, but I will tell you, best liquid eyeliner I've ever used is right here. This is the Hindash Hero line. Y'all, I am not good at liquid eyeliner, and this makes me look like I know what I'm doing because it's so precise. You can tell that this was made by someone who loves liquid eyeliner, you know? There's something to be said for that, so I would recommend that. Okay, we are gonna get into skincare now, I think. I mean, I think we mentioned a couple of skincare things, maybe, I'm not sure. It's in a weird order, but Glossier has these little serums that they've had for a long time, and they did double the size of them, I think. I think they probably put a different preservative in them. That's just me spitballing, but you know, so that they could actually have larger bottles of them at a time. But these are very introductory level skincare products on the whole, the ones in the little like, you know, squeezy top containers. I've had them, I don't think I've ever finished one because they're just not remarkable. They have a vitamin C ferulic acid, they have a hyaluronic acid, and then they have, oh sorry, it's a vitamin C and magnesium, but I think it's still water-based. I think it's still ferulic, a niacinamide and zinc. And like, y'all, my skin doesn't really care about niacinamide. I think that I just need something stronger than that. Niacinamide is fine, but I've never noticed a thing from it. Same with hyaluronic acid, like put it in my products, fine, but like I'm not gonna buy a specific hyaluronic acid. And then a vitamin C. Again, another like active that just isn't strong enough for my skin. My skin has never been like, yay, oh my gosh, never stop using this vitamin C. I did like the one from Herbivore pretty well, and I liked the one from Sunday Riley pretty well, but like I liked them because they were cosmetically elegant. They looked really pretty on my skin, and I did notice like some brightening, but not enough to like, I don't know. I just didn't keep using them because it wasn't like memorable enough for me. And I found like glycolics and stuff that I felt like worked better. So I do. I think that they are light skincare products for young people. You know, we're not into the like heavy lifting, you need to go see an esthetician to do what you really want to do kind of skincare. They're just not gonna do it. They have several now of these priming moisturizers. They have the original, they have the rich, and then they have the one for oily skin. I love the one for oily skin. It's a gel texture and it's so gorgeous. When I was pregnant and my skin went through every single skin type, you know, just kind of like couldn't pick a lane. I used that for a while when my skin was in its like oily phase. It's so good. It's so lovely. The priming moisturizer rich has a bunch of lavender oil in it. You know, it's up to you whether that is good, if that's a good thing. It doesn't really bother me, but it is a choice. And it's like fine. I have other rich moisturizers and like it's not, you know, gonna do the same thing as my SkinCeuticals. Again, we're talking about like young people things that just, you're not having to take into consideration the complicated needs that happen in your 30s, you know, like, and beyond. It's just my opinion. Now, on an entirely other level, in a class all of her own, I'm going to be hyperbolic here because I freaking love this stuff, is the Glossier After Balm. I don't actually have this on hand, like I forgot that it existed and I need to get some more. This is one thing that I would happily spend my own money on, and it is, yeah, their Moisture Barrier Recovery Cream. It's called After Balm because it is like the, you know, the slugging layer. Now, I think that one of the reasons that I don't repurchase it is because I go through it so fast. I mean, it reminds me of the European Nivea in the tin. It's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And it just makes your skin like so glowy and gorgeous. But I have other things in my collection that do that. I love my Make Beauty Reverse Emulsion. And then also I'm using the SkinCeuticals 242. I know it's $150, stupid. But regardless, can't recommend it enough. It's so gorgeous. Like if you have really dry skin and you like the moisture cocoon at the end of your night, you know, to sleep and, you know, make sure everything just really soaks in, After Balm, so good. And it comes in like glass with like a metal lid. It's a great experience. I love using it. Futuredew. Okay, Futuredew is the most similar to the reverse emulsion. It is a serum oil. It's slippier than the reverse emulsion. It's slippier than the reverse emulsion, and it has like a really short shelf life. So I think you have to use it within 6 months. So maybe even less than that. I'm not sure, but I mean, I go through my reverse emulsion that fast. Either way, I found the reverse emulsion to be something that communicated better with my skin and didn't complain as much under makeup. I do feel like the Futuredew is so intense that like it's gonna change the way your makeup behaves. I don't feel comfortable using it every day. And the original priming moisturizer, I think they changed it because it had like a sneaky amount of retinol in it, which I felt was really weird. Like you're gonna prime your makeup with something that's got that strong of an active in it, maybe not at like efficacy levels, but nonetheless, it makes your skin photosensitive. I don't know, it just was a weird choice. I don't think that it's like that anymore, and it's a pretty straightforward cream. You know, I don't think that it's like anything to write home about, but it's also not priced like, you know, the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, which to me, I don't know that I'd be able to tell them apart in a lineup. No, I'm kidding. It's thinner. It's thinner than that, but it's just meant to be like just one of the most basic moisturizers ever. And it's really nice if you've got normal skin. Glossier Milky Jelly Cleanser. I still use this. I actually have been using another Glossier cleanser, but I do love their cleansers. Milky Jelly Cleanser. There was a video that went around when Glossier was at their height, you know, where they went around in the store and they asked people to describe Milky Jelly Cleanser, and every single person did this as they were trying to explain. They're like, it has this texture to it, because it is, it's like a jelly texture. Bliss has one that's really similar. One of the main things about it is it doesn't foam. So it's really gentle. I mean, you can rub it in your eyeballs. It's the gentlest thing. It will not disturb your moisture barrier. And they've made it $1 more expensive. Inflation. But yeah, I do. I really like Milky Jelly Cleanser. Invisible Shield. I think it's octinoxate. Oh, they took the octinoxate out? Avobenzone, homosalate. Oh, it is. No, octosalate. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not sure if this was always the case because I do remember it kind of breaking my skin out, but the Glossier Invisible Shield is a daily sunscreen, SPF 35. It has like kind of a sunscreeny smell to it. It's nice, it's clear, and it's a good kind of introductory sunscreen for people who, you know, are just integrating it into their routine and don't want to pay a fortune for it. $25 for an ounce is not nothing, obviously, but it's pretty good and it doesn't have octinoxate in it. So I mean, I wouldn't kick it out of bed, but you know, I need something stronger. I use an SPF 50 every day. And it is a chemical sunscreen. Chemical sunscreens, especially clear ones, I don't know. I just feel like they don't do as good of a job, you know, at preventing hyperpigmentation, personally. I am not a scientist. I don't know if that's true, but that's just how it feels. The next one is the Glossier Milky Oil Dual Phase Waterproof Makeup Remover. I love this stuff. I love it, especially when I was doing like swatching videos and stuff like that. Keeping a thing of the Milky Oil around, you shake it up. It's got, you know, it's like a biphase basically. And yeah, it's super gentle, does an amazing job of like taking off your makeup, taking off swatches, whatever. Whew. The Glossier Solution Skin Perfecting Daily Chemical Exfoliator. Not kidding around. I feel like this was Glossier's big attempt at saying like, oh, you think our skincare is for kids? Not this. And I used it for a while. It is very like, you know, on par with like the Ren brightener, you know, or like the Paula's Choice BHA, you know, these toners that are supposed to clear your skin, but it is so aggressive. Salicylic acid and glycolic. So like two things that work really well on my skin, but yikes. Did my plug just fall out? I apologize. Heavy earrings. Anyway, yeah, it's really, really strong. So it just dried my skin out too much. It is not for the faint of heart. Now, the Glossier Cleanser Concentrate AHA Clarifying and Exfoliating Face Wash. I've been using this for a long time. I love it. I think I'm on my second bottle of it. It lasts forever because you use so little of it. It is a concentrate and it's just great. The only thing is don't willy-nilly rub it in your eyeballs the way that you would the Milky Jelly cleanser. It's not like horribly aggressive, but it does have some AHAs in it. Like you just don't want to get AHAs directly in your eyes because it stings a little bit. So make sure you get all your eye makeup off with something else first. Oh, and then the last thing that's on the Sephora website for Glossier is actually their Universal Pro Retinol Overnight Renewing Treatment. This is like the one thing that I haven't tried, besides maybe the eyeliner pencil. I have no idea. I can't speak to it. So I hope that someone else can give you all a good review of it. I am really sad and I want to like pour one out for the bubble wrap. I know that not everybody has the issue of their under eyes looking sunken. A lot of people are like, you know, trying to depuff them. I personally have sunken under eyes and I like when something kind of puffs my under eyes, and the bubble wrap was great for that. And I loved being able to recommend it because it was so gentle. And it came in this nice little metal tube. It was just great. So when they discontinued that, I was sad. And I think that's all. You know what? Where was the Wowder? Where was the Wowder? They didn't mention Wowder. I have it sitting right here. Glossier. Do we not do Wowder anymore? What? Did they discontinue Wowder? Sephora is not carrying Wowder. That's weird.
That's weird.
I love Wowder. It's like a hydrating powder. It's not as good as the Kosas because it's not as finely milled, but it's still really nice. It has a different finish too. The way that Wowder actually is on your skin looks dewy. Like it kind of like goes down almost glycerin-y, which is interesting. So it's got a mattification and like a little coverage level, but it doesn't look mattified. It's a really unique powder and that's really silly that it's not on the website. I don't know why they did that, but their loss. If you want Wowder, then I guess you have to go on the Glossier website. So yeah, I mean, I know I probably sound like an old cynical bat about Glossier, but I just remember the magic of feeling like almost like you belonged to something really cool and unique with Glossier, and I feel like, you know, over the years they've sort of drifted more and more and more towards the mainstream. And yeah, sure, that's probably the snobby indie kid in me being like, well, I just don't want everybody to like the thing I like, you know? It's kind of like when a band sells out, but to me it's more just that like they did have that fall from grace. Kind of broke the spell, right? and it took the magic away. And so it gave me probably like a more realistic idea of what I liked and what I didn't like from the brand. But I don't know that my opinions necessarily changed as a result of that. It was more just that they've changed because, like I said, Glossier has been around for so long that brands have copied them and they've done a pretty good job of it. So hopefully this was helpful. I'll list everything down below. And if you want to order off the Glossier website, I think I still have 10% off, but you can get 10% off if you're new anyway. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Either way, I hope y'all found this valuable. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you can tolerate me, then maybe consider subscribing while you're here. It's a lot of fun. I will stick a video up here that I think that you'll enjoy if you liked this one. And I love y'all very, very much. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!